Debate of the motion, "This House should announce that the King is naked," begins now. I invite the Prime Minister to speak.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a motion of this House should announce the King is naked. The government interprets the motion as the House being the Guatemalan government. Should announce that the King, in this case, is referred to the police in our case, where the King and the police represent authority, and is naked, and for us it is corrupt. So in the end we'll be debating that the Guatemalan government should announce that the police is corrupt. Alright, so let's begin. The first point I would like to make is that the Guatemalan police is indeed corrupt. Some examples of this could be that if you got enough money, let's put this scenario. If you get stopped by a policeman, in this case the PMSA, they will ordinarily just give you a ticket. That's what the law should. That's what you should get based on the law. However, if you have enough money in your wallet, give it to them, and most of the times it'll be like, yeah, you can go. Don't worry about the fine. Nothing of this happened. Also, another way that we know this is that the newspapers have shown many times, the Guatemalan newspapers, that these policemen are indeed corrupt because sometimes they're involved in gangs, believe it or not. So, in the end, since you can bribe policemen, it makes them corrupt, since they themselves are not enforcing the law, which is their job. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I would like to start by saying that there has not been clear studies by any competent source that it does identify that the Guatemalan police is corrupt. Sure, many people have spoken about it, I have heard, but there has never been an entity, let's say, I don't know, the own government saying, we have made a poll over the 50,000 policemen, and out of the 50,000 policemen, 95% is corrupt. There haven't been such investigation. Therefore, you cannot solidly state that it is indeed corrupt. Another point is that one can't blame that all the police is corrupt for some people. Sure, there is corruptness in the police. There is corruptness in all the polices of all the world. But there are some good policemen. You cannot say, yeah, because there's 20 policemen who are corrupt, all of the policemen are corrupt, because that's not the case. There has to be at least one policeman who is good. I want to say that I have bodyguards, and I have one who was a member in the police. As my family security measure, we do polygraphs, which is we investigate them, we investigate their activities. And in the investigation, he was indeed a policeman. And we did the investigation, we found out that he had neither robbed, he hadn't assassinated, or he hadn't accepted a bribe. This clearly says my point that not all policemen are corrupt. There are some that are corrupt, but not all of them are corrupt. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by saying that Guatemalan police don't carry on their jobs properly. I can back this up by referring to La Prensa Libre, which has brought statistics that show that 97.5% of all police officers take bribes. Now this would bring us back to what my colleague said when he said that if you have enough money, you can bribe a police officer that he doesn't give you a ticket when you're driving. So since police officers are not meant to take bribes, this goes against the law if they do so, which proves that they are corrupt. Another point I would like to talk about is that Guatemalan police don't try to keep people safe. From experience, in my past, they kidnapped my little cousin. He was kidnapped. During the kidnap, there was a witnessing officer, and he just stood by witnessing the kidnapping. He did not do anything. He was armed, and he did not try to stop them. That shows corruption. The opposition has claimed that there are no clear entities or no clear evidence for this corruption. Well, I just mentioned La Prensa Libre gave statistics. 97.5% of the police officers take bribes. Yes?
I would like to ask you, what year
Excuse me.
was...
Let's get this right. On that point,
On that point, which you say of La Prensa Libre, what year was that poll taken? What year was it made?
That was probably last year. This year, it would have probably increased. Knowing Guatemala myself, I lived in Guatemala all my life, and I think it should have increased. The opposition also contradicted themselves. When you said, I'm quoting you, you just said that there are no clear evidence of corruption. That's what the opposition stated. And back again, that leads me to La Prensa Libre statistics. The opposition also said, they claimed, why do we have bodyguards? And actually, I think that supports my evidence, my arguments. Because most of the people have bodyguards. Why? Because they don't trust the police officer. They don't trust them. I'm going to get a bodyguard. I personally would get a bodyguard instead of trying to trust the police to help me out. I'm not going to trust another police officer after they kidnapped my little cousin. He was there. He witnessed the kidnapping. He did not do anything. Thank you.
Thank you. We would just like to first point out that, as with all bodies, as with all groups of people, you can't generalize and say that the entire body or group of people, in this case the policemen, are all corrupt. Secondly, the Guatemalan government has a tendency to point fingers, especially the leadership of the Guatemalan government. The people who are superior to the policemen have an immense capacity for corruption, and they tend to point the fingers at the policemen or other groups of people in Guatemala. For example, as the Guatemalan government needs to set the precedents. As the ruling body of people, the leaders of the Guatemalan government that are superior to the policemen need to set the example of non-corruption. In order to, there are corrupt people in the police force, and there are non-corrupt people in the police force. To target corruption, we can't go straight to the police force. We need to nab the problem in the root and make sure that we end corruption in the government. For example, Balquizon and Molina have been are known to be very corrupt. Molina is responsible. Balquizon and Molina are the candidates for the campaigns for elections, and Molina is known to have committed many of the war atrocities. The policemen who were serving under his jurisdiction at the time were doing just that. They were serving him. Whoever carried out the atrocities that happened, that were because of also his fault.
Based on the point that you just made, would you be saying that you're agreeing with us that the police is indeed corrupt?
I'll make my point very clear. As with any body of government, or as with any group of people, actually, there are always corrupt and always non-corrupt people. You can't generalize it at all. Can I ask him to repeat the question again? Or can you repeat that question one more time?
Based on the statements you've been making recently, you agreeing with us that this is indeed correct?
A part of the police force is corrupt. There's a part that's not corrupt. There's a part that are upstanding citizens, and every country is like that. Okay. So when this blatant corruption is going on from the election leaders that are right there, that are right in front of us, we need to target them first because they are responsible and they set the precedents. Thank you.
I would like to say on the point that Amir said that when his young cousin or family member was kidnapped, there was a police officer and he didn't do anything. As it is well known, many police officers here have their guns, they don't even shoot, most of them are jammed, while kidnappers or robbers, they have guns that can't even penetrate cars. There are 50 calibers. Policemen here have guns that jam or don't even work. That may be one of the reasons why the policemen didn't do anything, because the kidnappers probably were well equipped, had heavy siege weapons, and even the policeman just had a gun, who God knows if it jammed or didn't. I would like to strengthen on the point that my fellow teammate made, which says that it is the leaders for sometimes the corruption, and it is true. The leaders are the ones who command the policemen. They are the ones who say, you can't do your job, you cannot do your job. They are the ones who control the weapons they're going to give them, the vehicles they're going to give, the zones they can cover or they can cover. If the leaders are corrupt, how can you expect the peons to not be? If they are being made corrupt, they cannot choose to be or not to be, because if they are not corrupt, they fire them. In spite of this, there are some people who aren't corrupt, ones who actually follow the law, but they have a very hard time doing it. Thank you very much.
Before we conclude this debate, I would like to mention that based on our arguments that we've said, no point that we said all. So actually my colleague here specified the amount. It was about 97.50 or 51%. Also, based on the information that we got, it's the opposition certainly agrees with us that the police is indeed corrupt. And based on the data that Luciano here was mentioning, that does not getting involved on this kidnapping justify not doing anything that they should have. Like he could have done something at least, like took the plate of the car or something that would at least fulfill his job. Aside from that, just to support our evidence, our arguments before, we have indeed personally witnessed gunfiring within the neighborhood of my grandparents. And in this neighborhood, 2 kids were running away from a policeman who was actually firing. But luckily, nobody got killed. But yet, he had a weapon and it wasn't jammed apparently because it was full mag, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
There was a very good debate by both sides. However, it was an excellent debate on the side of the government. The government does win. I counted both sides as making 3 strong arguments. However, the strength of the government's arguments were stronger, were superior. And I would like to point out one particularly significant accomplishment. Your point of information against Eden Garcia was very well played, very strategic and very effective. In effect, I took off one of the arguments because of that point of information. So that was a very good exercise of that.